What has public speaking taught you about the power of performance?
I think ultimately people want to be taken on a journey. You know, we all love to hear stories, we love to watch movies, and I think a great speaker does that. He or she takes their audience on a journey. And in that sense, you're a storyteller, and you are, instead of using kind of other external mediums, you're using yourself as the vehicle for that story. So I think there's a lot to be learned from theater and crafting those things and sequencing them in a certain way. If you think about the elements of great storytelling, it's kind of like, here's the state of the world as it is. It's actually the same three acts of a magic trick. They call it the pledge. Then, something happens to disturb the state of this world. It's all is not well in Denmark, you know. And then they find a way to resolve that into a higher resonance. In a sense, you look at it as actually as a duality resolution. There's the what is, the state, there's its opposing alternate force that challenges it, and then there's a third resolution to transcend it. So if you can do that, essentially when you speak, in the course of 45 minutes or 10, or no matter how short or long, I think an audience feels like they've received something that they wanted to receive. The interesting thing is, in the last year since we've spoken, I've actually done a 5-minute talk, and then recently I did a 1-minute talk. And I found the same pattern to be true. Like usually my talks are 45 minutes or an hour or longer. And then a 5-minute talk, I had to really condense it down when I was talking about the Austin equation. And then recently I did a 1-minute. And that was really highly, highly constrained. But yet it still had those three elements in it. The 1-minute talk was actually a reading of the Star-Spangled Banner. As you know, the Star-Spangled Banner is a question. But most people don't know that, because it's sung as it's a statement. So most people don't know that the Star-Spangled Banner is a question. So what I said was, I started off by saying, America's question. That's the pledge. Then the turn was the reading of the Star-Spangled Banner. And then the prestige was, America's quest is its question. Its question is in the Star-Spangled Banner, is in its national anthem. Now, what was interesting was I actually discovered something after that, which is actually I was wrong about that. The pledge was actually the Star-Spangled Banner as it's currently sung. So in my case, the pledge had already happened in a weird way before I ever got there. The minute I said America's question, I was in the turn. And the prestige was the actual reading of the Star-Spangled Banner. I didn't need to say anything after I read it. And the audience already told me that when I finished the last two lines, "Oh say, does that Star-Spangled Banner yet wave over the land of the free and the home of the brave?" Done. Right? So it was interesting. So these elements are kind of weird in the sense that who'd have thought the pledge was off stage?